Hello friends, in the next issue of What Will Happen If, a category in which you ask us questions in the comments and we clearly answer them. And with you, as always, Lebedev Artem, let's go. We will start with the answer to the question that was raised in the very first issue of What Happens If. And by the way, there are a lot of different comments that are really normal, well, or for technical reasons. At the moment we can't show them, but in the future we will be able to show them. I will insert such comments at the very end. Ivan Fedorov asks the question, what will happen if you drill porcelain stoneware with different devices, drills, a pen, or a diamond crown? And also the use of various techniques was heard. I'm going to use a screwdriver. By the way, it has revolutions from 0 to 600 at first speed, to 1900 at second speed. Most drills generally work up to 600 revolutions per minute, there are up to 200. Therefore, I did not take a highly aggressive drill. And, of course, a puncher, because there were a lot of answers to this comment, and they offered various options. And we will try them today too. First of all, we will drill at the second speed, with a pen 8 mm in diameter. First, press lightly. When we have drilled a little, we are already pushing harder. Now let's try to drill the porcelain stoneware 10 mm thick. Before that, we drilled a 6-hole. It was drilling with the observance of revolutions. Now turn on 1900 revolutions per minute and see what happens. No, there is an imbalance and nothing good. We are guided by about 200 and everything is clear. The disadvantage of this method is what? The fact is that next we have concrete, and we will still need to use some kind of drill already on concrete. The next drill is again 8 mm in diameter. Apparently, as indicated, it is for drilling in seams. The next thing is to try a diamond drill, cut dry. Let's try the second speed of 1900 revolutions. It drills well at high speeds. Let's try to drill a thicker porcelain stoneware. Another type of drill, also 8 mm in diameter. This is what the tip looks like. First the first speed. But it is indicated on this drill that it is possible to work in the mode with an axial impact. We are trying the second speed. It is difficult to enter, although there is first without a blow, then with a blow. Now connect the punch. Well, then it drills. Not bad, but with colic big. So far, the results are as follows. A feather of 8 mm showed the best result. We have the first place, and it doesn't fly anywhere, nothing runs away. But you need to continue drilling with a conventional drill. In second place is the diamond ring crown. It seems to be fine, but it's still not very convenient to go in and, well, again. We will need to continue drilling with an ordinary drill. In third place is a drill with a plug-in punch, but they saw yes, you can split the porcelain stoneware decently. In the fourth place, we have a drill that goes without connecting a blow. But most likely it is still between the seams in the tile. They need to drill, I can't say for sure now, but it drills so-so in plastic. Now let's check the following. Let's check the answers to this comment. It says the following. We drill with a conventional drill, insert it into the perforator, slowly tapping, the granite begins to be painted. But we start with a 6. Let's try to start with a 6, and moreover, I will use 2 types of drill. One drill on concrete, according to the usual, the other on reinforced. So, first the drill Shesteroshka, ordinary concrete, not reinforced. I inserted the simplest drill, let's try with it. Yes, it turned out, but my porcelain stoneware is gone, because the fresh solution. Well, such average freshness. Well, yes. Now let's try a Boshevsky drill in 7x, in my opinion it's called, with a solid tip. Drilled slowly, as it is written. And if you try it right away to the maximum, come on. No, it's not necessary to the maximum. In some situations, it is possible to drill, of course it is convenient, we drilled, and immediately drill a hole in the concrete further. But there are a lot of situations, as they saw, the freshly laid porcelain stoneware is shattered, the emptiness is shattered. If you accidentally press the button a little harder, again to smithereens. Therefore, in all tests, but here there is a clear winner, namely a feather. The next question was asked by Vitaly Kuznetsov. Now let's try to answer it. The only thing is that my drill is very low power Magtech mount 350 watts, and revolutions here are up to 2,500. What was the main problem with this particular drill? The fact that here is the maximum that we can clamp a diameter of 10 millimeters. Such ring drills only go with a decent shank, up to 13 to 16 millimeters, or SDs plus. I did what I did the following. I didn't find such a shank to go into the forest in a dozen. I just cut off the SDs plus. And I had just the end piece left. In this mode, pay attention, first I adjust the trigger switch, and then I already press it to the maximum. The revolutions themselves fall.
В таком режиме, обратите внимание, сначала я регулирую курковым переключателем, а потом я уже нажимаю его на максимум, обороты сами по себе падают.
In this test, we saw a vivid example of insufficient torque. By the way, there were answers to that comment about this, that yes, it is really possible to drill, it is possible, yes, we saw. It is possible to drill, but it will be a long time. It is necessary to give the instrument a rest. In the end, if we work with such a drill, only drill the subsockets, we will burn it will burn anyway. Because these are constant stops, lack of torque, a strong drop in RPM, lead to severe overheating, and, in the end, to a complete failure of the tool. Therefore, if we choose a door for a sub-cabinet, even if it is not very expensive, maybe we will be longer for it than there is with a professional expensive drill, yes, but we need to choose to have a decent torque, namely due to gear ratios. So that we have revolutions in the region of, well, 1,500, because anyway, when we go into the material, all the same, the revolutions will fall just to 900, to 1,200. The next question, which I will answer verbally, was asked by Victor Gaziv, namely, whether it is possible to use circular saws with spacer rings. Here are all these rings that I have in my hand. These are the rings that came with the discs. Yes, of course it can be used. The most important thing is not to use very thick discs and very thin discs, so that we have the disc nut properly clamped. And then everything will be fine. I also use discs on the format, on a rolled up machine in the same way. Sometimes the discs themselves are expensive for formatting, so you had to, as you look, yeah, somewhere shares. But everything is clear on the outer diameter, and on the inner, for example, a little more. In the same way, we put the spacer ring, and that's it, and go ahead, and let's go. The next question was asked by several people at once, and now we are going to check. We take various segmented diamond discs with different coatings. Now I'm going to show you everything closer, and let's see how they will cut metal. First, let's try to cut the corner 4 mm with a turbo disc. Now let's put a disc with a diamond coating. This disc cuts, though not as smoothly as the previous one, but it is faster. The next disc is a diamond segment, although I have already used it. The next disc is solid with dusting. And another disc is also coated, only now with a separator. It feels like one of the fastest discs tested today. When cutting metal, the disc with the turbo edge showed itself the slowest. He probably melts metal rather than cuts. Because it overheats more, everything turns red, and even then it cuts. Well, so, if you cut metal cleanly. In terms of the yellow deviled, cut is neat and fast. Here we have a segment plus spraying. Then the segment plus spraying Fubic Multimaster. It cuts quickly, but the edge is so, not very smooth. Here the spraying is thick, the cut is fast, but sloppy. Then the Bosch disc. It's a pity I can't see it here, but it's written specifically. In my opinion, this is also reinforced concrete. In principle, it copes with metal, but it is designed for reinforced concrete. Next, the disc is Graph Black Professional. The cut is quite neat, well, average in speed. What happens if you cut it off with a conventional metal miter saw? I have the 305th disc in my hands, an ordinary, completely standard one, that came with a miter profile pipe. To say that I am surprised is to say nothing. "70% of the time, I thought that they would fly off on soldering at the first meeting with metal. The rest, I think, will fly off, when if suddenly we cut through the first two faces, on the lower face, they will fly off. Everything else will fly off altogether. The profile of a 1.5 millimeter thick metal was cut off 20 by 20 times, cut off too. And it all happened very smoothly. It is clear that in any case it is impossible to cut metal with such a saw, because, first of all, the disc is not designed for this. The revolutions are not the same, and in general the saw is made of wood. But despite the result, in no case should it be repeated. First of all, it's not safe, and my brain has shifted a little bit now in terms of the fact that I have to work with gloves. Because I work with metal. It's clear, the gloves are there with leather, all that, not rag, but I still work with metal. On the other hand, the bridge tells me, you're working with a circular, take off your gloves. The non-docking with security is absolute. Then we got a cut in the region of more than 1,000 rubles. I mean these 3 cuts that we made. 2 times a corner, 2 times a 20 by 20 profile, and an I-beam once. 1,200 rubles. Is it okay? And then, in order, I will answer several tests at once, and then in the screensaver itself, those comments that were not included are, first of all, and secondly, a nice bonus for those who watch the video, and especially for those who watched about the blower. There's some little moment we haven't tested, and at the end of this video, I will definitely show it. What happens if you try to make a long oval hole with a screwdriver with a drill of 12 millimeters, that is, drill a hole in the tree, and then loading the screwdriver with a force perpendicular to the drill, cantilevered to make an oval slot. The only point is that I will use a drill bit with a diameter of 13 millimeters. If we load the drill, it is clear that we have a screwdriver arranged in such a way that there is a small distance from the bearing to the bearing on which the shaft is mounted, and this place will break up very quickly. You can use a drill bit like this, a milling cutter. Let's try the same thing on the drill. There are 2,500 revolutions here. Yes, in this situation, turnovers decide. The next question is firm Mauser steel. And what if you use milling cutters with a drill instead of a milling tool, that is, a milling cutter? Let's try it first with a screwdriver, and then we'll try it with a drill. Well, if you fix the drill somewhere in the table, and the drill so that the speed is higher, and in some situation, in a hopeless situation, it can be corrected.